Sequences from the 1988 season, so sit back and enjoy.
The season started well for Houston and their head coach, the Elvis fanatic, Jerry Glanville. In the season's early weeks, many teams needed their backup quarterbacks, as some of the game's best were sidelined through injury. This season, we've shown you some of the game's most unusual moments. And after week 4, we look back to some of the best ever.
45?
Who's got
No,
30?
I got 40.
I got him. I got that guy.
Okay, all set. Hey, who's got 45?
I thought you had 45.
I've got 57.
Who's got 48?
I got 48. I got 88. Time out.
With Icky Woods and his shuffle, this season has seen the return of the end zone dance. America inaugurated its new president on Friday, but his day of victory was Thursday, November 3rd, 1988.
I came up with a solution that we're going to renegotiate the president's contract for 4 more years.
A 3-point defeat in Week 11 by Tampa Bay signaled the end for Detroit's coach, Darryl Rogers. He was fired. XXII, I visited Lawrence Taylor, the scourge of NFL quarterbacks.
You mine. You mine, baby. Son, I got his head in this.
As the regular season came to a close, we reflected on 16 weeks of blood, sweat, and toil in the NFL.
Don't they do a great job down there in the edit suite? Anyway, in Super Bowl 22, it's produced another first, the first ever 3D halftime show. However, the catch was that you had to have one of the 20 million pairs of glasses given away by a famous soft drink company. And Walter and John are modeling them. But even as a two-dimensional show, it was still quite an extravaganza. So halftime comes to an end. We'll be back after this break with the second half. Rejoin us then. So a low-scoring first half, but Walter, what do you see happening in the second half?
Well, Cincinnati has been giving a new birth of life, because this half they're supposed to be down at least by 14 points, but they're tied 3-3. They get the ball on the opening kickoff. If they can take the ball and make some type of substantiated drive, not even scoring a touchdown, but move the ball at least on the side of the 49ers field and put a threat there, that's going to give them more momentum. Next time they get the ball, they end up scoring. But if San Francisco stops them, then we might go back into that old cat and mouse game that we saw earlier in the first half.
John, how about you?
Well, Boomer's got to get his act together. He's 4 out of 12 for the halftime, and he's got to start passing on first down, doing the play action again, get his running game going. When they ran the ball in the first half, they averaged over 4 yards on the ground. So they can run the ball. So they've got to give the ball to Brooks, to Woods, do what they've been doing all year, do what they've been doing to get them here, which is run the ball, play action pass, throw on first down. He's got to be able to use McGee and Brown deep to stop the free safety and the strong safety from pushing up and stopping the running game.
Well, you just saw Boomer Esiason on the screen, and I think he's the key to the game for the Cincinnati Bengals. And now you can see his first half stats, and he obviously wasn't the key in the first half. If he can get the game going, the passing game, they've already got the running game going. So it's up to Boomer, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of points scored in the second half, and I don't want to say. Now let's see Kofa kicking off.
Tied score in a Super Bowl. San Francisco sends it in play, and Stanford Jennings from Furman. Flag down, and so is Jennings just shy of the 25-yard line. And where the yellow hankies are tossed, one must suspect illegal use of the hands against the return team. Harry Sidney made the tackle for San Francisco. Jerry Seaman. And indeed, Cincinnati will start from deep in its own end, and let's look at the official first half statistics.
Holding during the return, number 27 receiving team, first down.
Barney Bussey. So the ball's at the 14 for Cincinnati.
Statistics in the first half. San Francisco statistics, 80% of that yardage, 81% actually, accounted for by Craig and Rice, who were very big in this first half.
181 total yards to 93. San Francisco outgaining Cincinnati 2-1. Eddie Brown in motion. Ickey Woods out of the blocks in a hurry. This big guy at 230 pounds really is rolling on that second step. Nearly 5 yards before Michael Walter can make the tackle. There's Ickey Woods with his ponytail. That's his Samson symbol, and has not been able to generate an Ickey shuffle today. And Ronnie Lott, the Tiger, the defense, calling the play. And then looking for the ball. 2nd and 5. Misdirection. It's Woods to the 25 and a first down. Michael Carter trailing the play, and Jim Fawnhorse, number 55, make the stop. There's Carter, who won the silver medal in the 1984 Olympic Games in the shot put. He was both a star in track and field and football at SMU, but not drafted till the 5th round because many thought he would go into track and field on to the 88 games. What a buy he was at that late price for San Francisco. Quick huddle. Appeared to be an offside. Here comes James Brooks. Oh, is he crushed? And you know that's a Ronnie Lott tackle when you hear him all the way to the top row. He was set up by Griffin and Fuller, and then Lott came up to nail him. I believe 94, Charles Haley was offside. Offside San Francisco is the call. There's Haley, who was lined up on the defensive right side.
Haley flip-flopping, trying to get upfield quickly to get around Anthony Munoz. Let's take a look at Ronnie Lott. You tell concentration.
Offside.
He does read so well inside. And watch the reaction. Once he sees what is developing here, he doesn't waste any steps at all.
The old days, you used to teach you kind of lower that shoulder and head. He just hit you straight up, face mask to face mask. They take the penalty, 1st and 5 at the 30. A fake draw. Esiason down the middle to Collinsworth. And what a catch by the veteran from Florida. Ball not well thrown. Collinsworth injured on the play. He's been playing hurt all season long.
Collinsworth, a big, tall receiver, and Boomer tends to favor him over the years in a crisis situation where he has to get the ball to someone. I think he hurts himself as he hits the ground here. That's great concentration on that play. We're already of the opinion that McGee is hurt, the other wide receiver. Now, if Collinsworth goes down, that really puts Sam in a bind.
What outstanding play by Collinsworth, catching the back end of the ball. And Don Griffin adding some punishment at the end. 23 yards, a first down. We'll see how Collinsworth is.
Yeah.
Welcome back. So the Bengals have the ball in the 49ers territory.
Mickey Woods could not find a hole, and around his ankles was Kevin Fagan.
Fagan pursuing from his right defensive end position. Watch how quickly he'll get off the block here, off the back of Munoz, who's trying to block him actually with his hips. Keep him in. Ickey Woods trying to cut back. There was no chance there.
He was on the NCAA champions of the Hurricanes in 1983. From Kozar's team. Esiason. Flags are down. Esiason, high school baseball star. Hook slides in at the 42, but the flag back, and Michael Carter says they're grabbing on to me, ref.
This is a situation that Cincinnati has been shot down in all day. First half, they were 1 for 6 third down conversions. That, of course, will take the football out of their hands and hand it back over to San Francisco. They have got to improve on that number. Esiason's completions in the first half and the second half, all to wide receivers.
Holding, number 75 offense, still second down.
Bruce Reimers called for holding. Watch him going outside here. Their stunt takes Kevin Fagan in, so they have to switch bodies. Well, I tell you, he's just trying to hang on to Michael Carter. That's just like getting on the back of a freight train.
Out of the backfield, James Brooks. All the way to the 38-yard line. Oh, you talk about great trade. Cincinnati sent Pete Johnson, the big fullback, to San Diego to get James Brooks in 1984 from the Chargers. Johnson only played a few games out on the West Coast, and Brooks has starred for the Bengals.
First pass to anyone other than a wide receiver, and it's successful. They've got to get the ball into other people's hands here, into Rodney Holman's hands, into Brooks's hands.
20 yards on the play, and that brings up 3rd and 2. There's the Esiason targets. He hasn't thrown to the Pro Bowl tight end, Rodney Holman, yet. Ickey Woods. First down at the 35 of San Francisco. Now here is a story as the Cincinnati fans celebrate a first down. 3-all the score. 10:09 left third quarter. We understand that Tim Crumry refuses to go to the hospital. Knows both bones in his lower left leg are broken. He's staying here. He's worked to get to the Super Bowl. He is not leaving Joe Robbie Stadium. He's watching the game in the locker room. He wants to be part of what he feels, of course, with his heart will be a Cincinnati day, and he'll talk to us on the postgame show.
I've got to believe that part of the inspiration for this Cincinnati team is knowing that kind of strength is coming from one of their injured teammates. And, of course, a very important play for Sam Wyche's offense. Their second third down conversion of the day. They're getting down, pushing down now into an area of the field where they can get some points.
We have a problem with the clock.
Speaking of the clock, the attack offense, the hurry-up offense, has not been a factor so far in this ballgame. Something a lot of people worried about, asked about, questioned about.
Well, we have a moment. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and Cincinnati Bengals is prohibited. The game is property of the National Football League, Cincinnati and San Francisco, all rights reserved.
David Douglas onto the field in place of Bruce Reimers.
This is the first possession of the second half, and Cincinnati has now taken it to a first down outside the Niner 35. Ickey. And a flag is down after a couple-yard pickup. Larry Roberts, who played at Alabama, made the stop.
This is not a Bengal team that gets outside well with this huge offensive line. They're really better off running inside tackle.
Procedure against Cincinnati, a 5-yard penalty. Short gain. Let's see if the 49ers take the 5. Ronnie Lott, who was the NFL runner-up for Rookie of the Year behind Lawrence Taylor back in 1981. Came out of the same draft as Kenny Easley, who started with Seattle as a defensive back.
We had an illegal shift, 2-man move, did not reset prior to the snap, still first down.
So first and 15 from the 40. We told you Tim Crumry was sorting out, trying to find out where Steve Wallace, the fine tackle of San Francisco with a broken ankle, where he is, whether he's in the locker room or on the sidelines. Fagan drags down Esiason right at the 40-yard line. No gain. So he's had time to find a receiver, but the 49er deep defense had him all covered.
49ers have done a good job of mixing their coverages today, and it's been a long day so far for Boomer Esiason.
Esiason ran for 248 yards during the regular season. That is officially a sack. Second and 15. Woods is out. Brooks, the only running back, he gets the call. You hear a play like that, you wonder when you were a kid, why did you ever want to be a football player?
That sounds like, you know, they connect those cars in the railroad yard. That's what that sound sounded like.
7 yards for Brooks. Tim McKyer, Fuller and company with a tackle. No huddle.
Attack offense being utilized here. San Francisco willing to play with what they have on the field. Of course, with Jeff Fuller, he can be linebacker or safety. Haley can be down lineman or linebacker, so they have a lot of flexibility.
Esiason took a first down on a leaping catch by Chris Collinsworth, 6'5", and he needed all of it to spare the ball.
Old habits die hard. Collinsworth, a receiver that Esiason has looked for repeatedly over the years. He does it again here. The heat is on. That is a great catch.
And the deepest penetration for the Bengals in the game at the 22-yard line. Collinsworth out. They send Brooks out as a flanker left to the near side. Both wide receivers to the right. And Ickey Woods the runner. Breaking a couple of tackles inside the 20, where Michael Walter and Don Griffin team for the tackle. There's Collinsworth, who has had a couple of key catches for Cincinnati today.
Cincinnati Bengals have been moving James Brooks out to that wide receiver position to try and get Jeff Fuller to go out there and line up with him. Taking Fuller out of the position to get involved and run support for the defense.
7 minutes left, third quarter. The game is tied at 3. A movement in the line, and Michael Carter reacts to it. Boomer complaining that it was Carter who initiated. Carter saying he was drawn offside.
False start prior to the snap. Center.
Bruce Kozerski.
That's pretty unusual. Obviously a flex or movement by the center to simulate the snap. That's not legal. Not legal for anyone in that line to move once they're down in position.
Kozerski, an honor student, majored in physics at Holy Cross.
Watch a little bit of movement there. You got to think that you got to know that he was just confused on what he was supposed to do, what the snap count was. He has had a fine day on Michael Carter, though.
2nd and 12. Woods, nothing there. And look at Lott come in. Woods got down just in time. He was set up, and Lott had about a 20-yard run at him. Here's the no huddle.
Very quick substitutions for San Francisco. They put 5 people on the field, so they've got their people in there already. Fresh-legged rushers. They're watching Lott come up.
Dodge a bullet.
That's a good choice. Dive.
Now the ball at the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 13. Boomer's 3 for 3 on this drive. Flags are down. We'll see whether Jerry Seaman had Esiason, and the play whistled in the grasp and control. Illegal procedure against the Bengals.
Now, do you let it go to 4th down, or do you move them back? Obviously thinking this one over.
Walsh, the 57-year-old head coach of the 49ers, says decline it, make him try the long field goal. Is this his last game?
Illegal shift. 2-man move prior to the snap. Did not reset. Penalty declined. 4th down.
That's twice that they
Second time on this drive that they've been called for the same penalty. You can legally move 2 people, but you've got to reset for a second before that ball is snapped.
So Jim Breach, and this will test the limit of his leg. They like him inside the 40. Outside the 40, it's a bonus. This one will be 43 yards. You see, he made only 205 from this range this year. To give Cincinnati the lead for the first time. And so it is. For Jim Breach, and the Bengals lead 6-3.
So the Bengals leading 6-3 on a field goal by Jimmy Breach. John, what do you think Jimmy was thinking on this kick?
Well, he's a veteran. He went up there for a 43-yard field goal, well within his range. He's accurate up to 45 yards. Comes through the ball, hits it right down the middle, keeps his head down.
Let's go back to our NBC commentators now.
Cincinnati's Lee Johnson will now kick it off to San Francisco. That was a time-consuming 12-play drive, over 9 minutes used by Cincinnati to get the field goal by Breach. You see Taylor and Rogers deep. Cincinnati leading 6-3. Del Rogers at the goal line. And he's down at the 17, but they may have got him in the face mask as the flags fly. Darrell Smith, 25 downfield, and there's another injury to a 49er. And maybe Rogers, as they hit him high, that might have been a face mask. He's okay.
Personal foul, face mask, number 25, kicking team, first down.
Oh, it'll be a 15-yard penalty.
That's the big one. And from what looked like relatively bad field position, suddenly they're outside the 30.
At the 31-yard line. Understand we have the camera man that has gone down to the Cincinnati Bengal locker room. Tim Crumry down there will show you what he found. Play action Montana to Rice, incomplete. Just moments ago, Tim Crumry, two bones fractured in that left leg. You see he's already been casted, and Crumry staying here watching the game from the Bengal locker room. He will not go to the hospital. They have the helicopter here ready to take him.
He's hard-headed, but he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants.
Fake draw. Montana's going to run it. And alertly out of bounds with a first down at the 42-yard line. Now, Montana's 32 years young, but he still has good feet.
Does not like to run as much as he did early in his career. Of course, the very serious back operation. Many said no way he can come back from that. He came back before the season was out. A remarkable recovery. He still has good speed. He's been discouraged from running, from taking the hits. But in a game like this, he'll do whatever it takes to get his team a victory.
Jerry Rice to the right, the only wide man on first down. Craig up the middle. 49ers didn't run straight ahead in the first half. They mostly directed their running game wide, so Craig blasting up the middle for 5. Steve Wallace, who fractured his ankle on the third play of the game, the offensive tackle for the 49ers. We do not know whether he is in his regular clothes on the sidelines or where he might be at the moment. Bubba Paris, a veteran from Michigan, has replaced him. There he is. Well, he could sell advertisement on the back of that body. He is big. Jerry Rice. And a little short pattern where they try to get Rice with enough room that he can use his dazzling footwork, as he did against the Bears in the big win 2 weeks ago up at Soldier Field. 13 on the play.
Craig and Rice, the big guns in the first half. Watch the very quick beat. Some of the turf tearing up on this field, and footing would appear to be a little bit treacherous at times.
6-3. Cincinnati, 4 minutes left, third quarter. Craig. Good lateral pursuit by the Bengal defense to deny him any big game. Reggie Williams was there early, as was David Grant, who was replaced from Rye. And there you see some of the football divots being torn up on this new sod. They resodded the center of the field about 5 weeks ago.
Looks good, but it is not holding up very well to the cuts of these two teams. 49ers with those two fine pulling guards, Sapolo and McIntyre inside, trying to work the outside of this defense a little here in this first drive.
2nd and 6. And Montana caught from behind.
Reggie Williams. He had 2 sacks in the playoffs earlier, coming from the backside. Montana did not see him. He was able to get a wraparound and get enough of Montana to knock him to the ground. He'll come from the right-hand side of your picture. Montana will feel the pressure up front right there, but he didn't see Reggie from the backside, and boy, he just barely got enough of him to take him down.
A loss of 3. It's 3rd and 9. Out of the backfield, Craig, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage by Barney Bussey. Boy, that just sounds like a football player, doesn't it? Barney Bussey from South Carolina State.
There he is, right in the middle of your picture. He's assigned to Craig, man to man, and watch him take that responsibility seriously. That's what you call a spy man there. Hey, he's my man. I'm going to go find him.
He was the player that hit Doug Williams, remember, in the overtime when the Redskins looked like they might beat Cincinnati, missed a short field goal, and then Bussey sacked Williams, forced the fumble, and Cincinnati won on the field goal in overtime. Pelton hits it high. Fair catch. They'll let it go. It takes a 49. It hit one of the Bengals. That's a live ball. Who recovered?
Saved by
Ray Horton. Ray Horton hit the heels of one of the Cincinnati players. That could have been a disaster for one team and glory for another. Timeout.
So the Bengals got a little lucky there. It hit the foot of one of their players. The ball hit him. In that situation, if one of the 49ers falls on it, it's their ball. Now let's watch it again right here. See the punt going up. It's a good punt, a high punt. He calls for a fair catch and leaves it. Now the 49ers need to get out of the way, but bam, it hits 89 on the... And what a great play there by the other Bengal who fell on it. But Walter, at the half, we were talking about Boomer. He comes out, he took the ball from his own 14-yard line, drove down the field. Old mate Jimmy comes in there and kicks a 43-yard field goal. What do you think Sam White said to Boomer at the half?
Well, it wasn't what he said. He changed his play selection. What he did, he'd given Boomer free reign to go deep and to move the ball the best way he could. So what he did, he changed his whole philosophy, started moving the ball with the running game, hitting the short passes, control game. Eventually, they moved the ball down the field and came up with 3 points.
John, the old man at 29 making a big difference now with the Bengals. Who am I talking about?
Chris Collinsworth, wide receiver. He came in, he's 8 years in the league. He was in the last Super Bowl 19. He wanted to have a big game in this game, but he's been injured all year. He's had an ankle injury, he's had rib troubles. Every time he came back, he seemed to get hurt. 2 big receptions in that last drive to set up the field goal.
Let's now go back to our NBC commentators. The Bengals have the ball about their own 20.
Ira Hillary, number 89. The ball is going to bounce off of his heel. And look how many 49ers are here. Look how many guys they have in this situation. And yet, it's Bussey. Whoa, look at that stack. There are 7 49ers. It's Horton, number 20, actually, who does recover that. But
he was the only white shirt
the only opportunity they had. And Ira Hillary, who was trying to get away from that football, has to breathe easy. Boy, that could have been a costly turnover.
So very close for the 49ers to get a big break. 2:29 remaining, third quarter. Cincinnati leads 6-3. Intercepted, Romanowski. Bill Romanowski does give the 49ers the break at the 23-yard line.
After finally getting a few successful passes completed in that first drive, Esiason does not look good with his first pass of the second drive. Throws it right into the arms of the waiting linebacker. That ball just poorly thrown.
Romanowski is in there because he's tough on the run. He did not have an interception all year.
You just got to get that ball up a little bit. You'll have a chance. But that ball, and it looks to me like Boomer just throwing that ball badly.
Montana incomplete. Jerry Rice trying to turn upfield before he really tucked it away.
Jerry Rice, those are sure hands. This is not a man who drops it to the ground, who looks away before it arrives. But that's exactly what he did. He's looking downfield before he tucked it away.
Romanowski accepting the congratulations. They really like this rookie. He's played well and comes up with a big turnover at 2nd and 10. Craig and Reggie Williams, the veteran, staying at home. Boy, you could just see him plant his feet on the outside and say, you're going to have to go inside. You're not going to get around me.
5 substitutions on the field for the Bengals. They go into their nickel package to try and shut Montana down. Walsh counters with his own substitutions.
A big 3rd and 7 for Montana at the Cincinnati 20. Rice,
he's going to be short
by a yard. Lewis Phillips rides him down at the 14-yard line. 4th and 1. He's going to go for the field goal. In comes Kofor. Apparent field goal.
Yes, better add that. It's been that kind of day. You pull out the stops in this kind of game, and it would not surprise us to see either coach throw a trick play or pull one out of his hat here.
It'll be from short range, although, remember, Kofor the last time on a bad snap missed the shortest ever in Super Bowl 19. This is 32 yards. Here's Thomas, the snapper. It is good. With 50 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Once again, this Super Bowl is tied.
Romanowski may have made the biggest play of the day so far with this interception.
But what he does is he drops in his zone. He sees Boomer coming in, so he's in no man's land. First thing he does, he jumps up as high as he can, tips the ball, very alert, finds it, locates it, tries to run with it, but he puts it away, which is a good thing because the guy coming from the backside could strip the ball and be a fumble. He made a big play there because that stopped the momentum.
Back to NBC now with the kickoff, and look at the Bengals go.
All the way, unless Sidney can catch him, he can't. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Oh, my. Jennings are both graduates of Furman, and they can enjoy this special moment together. 93 yards for a score, and Cincinnati has exploded into the lead. Fulton Walker returned a kickoff for a touchdown in the Miami-Washington game in the Rose Bowl 6 games ago. That was a 98-yarder. But it's Cincinnati stunning the 49ers, and Stanford Jennings 93 yards.
Jennings getting more responsibility because of the suspension of Stanley Wilson and taking advantage of his opportunity here. Boy, he is high-stepping. He looks like Roger Craig going down that field.
Terry Greer, wide receiver, 83, got his heels, but just a yard too late. And here is Fulton Walker, Super Bowl 17 for Miami. And Walker going 98 yards, a record against the Redskins, but it wasn't enough because that was a day for Rigo and Rigonomics. And John Riggins scored in the fourth quarter, and the Skins beat the Dolphins 27-17.
If you want to get a return on a kick, you've got to bring it straight up the field. And then you count on getting some good blocking. Look at those red shirts fall. And Jennings never broke stride. You got to be in condition to hump that far down the field.
And that is a rare experience. And they'll be cheering at Fountain Square in Cincinnati. They have returned only one other kickoff for a touchdown in something like 12 seasons.
These are the kinds of plays that switch emotion around in a game. I tell you that there's nothing bigger or nothing more devastating on the other side than that kind of special teams play.
Now it's the 49ers' turn. First touchdown of the game on special teams, 13-6. And here's a man who can take it all away, John Taylor. Stopped at the 15-yard line. Ed Brady and Mark Logan.
There's a sense of emotion being magnified in this game in such a way that a bad break of that kind really works more heavily than it would even in a playoff game or particularly in a regular season game. We'll see how that impacts both of these teams as they get on into this fourth quarter.
Montana hits as he throws, and Jerry Rice still on his feet. Finally dragged down at the 46-yard line. Jerry Rice and Montana, what a hookup. And for the quarterback of the 49ers, he got that one off just as he was kissed. Final second of the third quarter. 15 to go. Cincinnati by a touchdown. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. To the 46-yard line before Phillips couldn't drag him down. Look at the great balance by Rice. They say he doesn't have great speed until he has that ball in his hands. Montana on the roll. Throwing deep. Complete to Craig. And Craig is to the 14-yard line.
Well, how do you answer a big play? You come right back with that kind of play. Montana not wasting any time. Bing, right down the field. Rolling to his right. He favors that. He's so comfortable out there all kinds of time. You talk about touch passes. The wind didn't play with that one, Dick.
That's the first time he's completed a pass on a roll. 1 for 5. Gets 40 yards. As San Francisco tries to come right back. Into the end zone. Almost intercepted. Lewis Phillips had his hands on it.
You have the sense of this being a day of missed opportunities for the San Francisco 49ers. Well, this is a missed opportunity for Lewis Phillips. He gets the read here. Taylor driving inside, and Phillips with good anticipation knows where that pattern is going to be thrown. He had it. He had it. You can't drop that one. That's your ball out on the 20, and you shut down the drive.
Both wide receivers to the left, Taylor and Rice. The throw is to Rice. Touchdown.
Great combination, knows exactly where the other person is going to be. Look how he hung that ball out over that goal line. That ball just has to be out over that goal line, has to break the plane of the goal line before he goes out of bounds. I don't think there'll be any review of that. Nope, not now.
Ooh, Hofer just does get that kick away, and the game is tied again at 13.
Taking another angle. Let's see where the ball is when the body goes out of bounds. Rice sticks the ball out with his right hand. I think he's got a touchdown. I do.
Boy, it took the 49ers only about a minute to answer. It's 13-all. In these playoffs for Jerry Rice, the kickoff toward the sidelines, out of bounds, so Cincinnati will play it from the 35-yard line.
Dick, there are a few plays in every game that can turn the nature of the game around, where the game kind of hangs in the balance. That big play on special teams by Jennings, one of those plays, and that missed interception, one of those critical plays.
Louis Phillips had it right in his hands as he made the play in the end zone, but couldn't tuck it away.
If he makes that catch, it's their ball out on the 20-yard line, and I'm sure that's what's going through his brain on the sideline right now. He also, by the way, was the man assigned to cover Rice on the touchdown.
Starting from the 35, just under 14 minutes to go. 13-all. Boomer to Brown. Eddie Brown out to the 42-yard line. Let's go back to that play that preceded the San Francisco touchdown.
Again, Phillips with good position, and that's not a great pass from Montana, but right through his arms, and that is not a difficult catch to make. Boy, I'll tell you, that's the kind that haunts you. That's the kind you wake up in the middle of the night dreaming about.
Second down, 2.5. Ickey Woods has the first down at the 47-yard line. Michael Walter and Larry Roberts spearheaded the charge, a 4-yard gain. Walter played at Oregon. He and Walter on the same page. They celebrate their birthday together on November 30th. Time remaining in the fourth quarter. It seems a long time since a Super Bowl game has been this close. The last time the game was decided in the fourth quarter, as you look at the torn sod here at Joe Robbie Stadium, was in Pasadena when Washington and Riggins beat Miami. That was 6 games ago. Woods, a couple. Larry Roberts, he's played a big game, number 91, in his third year with the 49ers.
He's really matured during this year, become an effective pass rusher and run-down specialist. In fact, they have him playing both ways. They like to flip-flop everybody else in there, but he stays in pretty much all the time.
We understand Steve Wallace, who fractured his ankle, the 49er tackle, he is being casted, and his gear in the locker room at Joe Robbie Stadium. Esiason, incomplete. And they're going to rule that Esiason was down and in the grass. That is a sack for Larry Roberts and Charles Haley.
Esiason, we've seen him rolling out more tonight by far than we have seen him in the past. And Haley, who's been relatively silent, coming very quickly off the left-hand side to get Esiason before he could get that ball away.
3 wide receivers to the right. Third and long. 15 to go. Was the intended receiver at the 37-yard line. And Charles Haley again applying the pressure.
Those are the kind of passes that Boomer made so very successfully early in this season. We haven't seen him accurately deliver those balls in the last few weeks. He certainly has not been able to do it tonight.
Boy, after the Stanford Jennings touchdown with a kickoff return of 93 yards, have the 49ers turned that emotion around. They quickly marched to a score in 4 plays, 85 yards. Montana to Rice, the payoff 14. Now they've stopped Esiason in Cincinnati, and they get it right back with 11 minutes to go. Fair catch Taylor. That wasn't a very good fair catch signal. I don't know if they're going to allow it or not. San Francisco recovers the ball. Taylor really didn't get his hand up. It was kind of half-hearted, and that would have been Cincinnati's ball if recovered by the Bengals. Alertly, Darryl Pollard, 26, fell on it.
He's got to get that hand up and wave it. He didn't do it. Ooh, and he took his eye off of that football. Boy, they're lucky they didn't get that one taken away from them.
When we return, San Francisco starts from the 49er 18.
Walter, first we had Stanford Jennings going 93 yards, then Montana goes 80-plus yards. The momentum's going boom, boom. Then they have a punt. Boomer stalled, but then he knocks the ball, they fumble it. Who's got the momentum right now?
Well, I think the momentum is still in San Francisco's corner because Cincinnati's special team is the one that scored, but San Francisco's offense is steady grinding those plays out.
7 minutes to go. Montana going for the big bomb to Rice. What a catch by Rice! Unbelievable again.
Earlier in the week, when there was talk of an injury to Rice's ankle, I think Lewis Billups was probably the happiest guy in Miami. But the story was not true. There's a man who doesn't have a sore ankle. At least he's running like a man with 2 healthy ankles. Billups with his hands full, and Rice, again, the amazing play.
Human highlight film. His coach in college, Archie Cooley, said he could catch a BB at midnight. Roger Craig slashes to the 31-yard line, and the combination of Jerry Rice catching the ball and Roger Craig both catching and running. Look at the totals they're racking up. They are the San Francisco offense.
You've got to believe that the way this Bengal defense has risen to the occasion without their best player, Tim Crumry, has taken a lot out of them emotionally. But right at this moment, in that huddle, they're saying one thing: we can't backslide now. Let's go get them. Let's shut them down. It's still tied on the scoreboard.
Craig again. And sealing off the outside was Reggie Williams. He's played a tough game at that linebacker position. Want to duck in something? We just understand they're telling us that Tim Crumry, despite the fact he wanted to stay here, watch the game, see his team come in off the field, the doctors now have ordered Crumry to go to a nearby hospital for all the proper precautionary reasons, shock and that sort of thing. So Crumry has left. Now at the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 4. He goes the other way to Rice, and it's knocked away incomplete. It was John Taylor. John Taylor on the near sideline.
Guess who was there to help that football fall to the ground? David Fulcher. We haven't mentioned his name as many times here in the second half, but that may be the biggest play for this defense of this second half.
He knew he had 3 men open. He had Craig, then he had Rice a little short, and then on the sidelines, the ball zipped to Taylor, but Fulcher, the man on the spot. 49 yards for the lead, testing the leg of Mike Cofer.
Plenty of leg.
It is no good. Wide to the right. Now, despite that 44-yard completion to Rice, Kofor misses from 49. We're still tied.
Well, Montana and Rice really tried to change the momentum right there, but John, Kofor, a young kicker, he missed a kick earlier that wasn't his fault. 49-yarder, he had the distance, he missed it. We're in the last quarter, there's only a few minutes left. How's that going to affect him later on?
Well, right now he's missed 2 field goals, so it's going to play with his mind. He's 2 out of 4, 50%, which isn't very good in this league. He hit that one towards the right post. He's a right footer, and he tried to hit it to the right post, and it stayed out wide. It didn't hook in for him. So now he's going to be thinking. He's going to be on the sideline. It's going to be tormenting him. And kicking is 80% mental, as you know, Mick. So I think it's really going to be a problem for him.
Well, as you can see, looking at the monitor here, we've got Rice taping his ankle. I think he did that on that long pass downfield. Now let's take it back to our NBC commentators.
Earlier this week.
After the missed 49-yard field goal, Cincinnati takes over at the 31. And it's Ickey Woods off tackle, and they're waiting for him. Kevin Fagan, just as Reggie Williams has been solid against the run for Cincinnati, Kevin Fagan has been the answer for the 49ers.
Ricky Ellison, number 50, in the middle of that defense. He's been hurt a good deal of the last part of this year. He has special incentive today. Let's go back to that attempted field goal, the snap by Randy Cross. Word that we have here now is that San Francisco used Cross as a snapper earlier in this game. So our criticism of Chuck Thomas may have belonged on Randy Cross's shoulders.
Michael Carter, the nose tackle, showing his speed as he runs Boomer Esiason out of bounds at the 29. So on that missed field goal, 19-yarder on the bad snap, that was veteran Randy Cross, not Chuck Thomas, who made the snap.
In his last ball game, retiring, maybe Chuck would like to take the blame for him. Perhaps we get Chuck to do that for Randy.
There's Cross, 13 years in the league, 3 times a Pro Bowler. He's played both center and guard. Wants to be a sportscaster, a very glib guy. And Dad was an actor, character actor, a bad guy in the movies. He's been a good guy for the 49ers, as Randy. 3rd and 13. McGee. Or Hillary, Ira Hillary in the game with the injuries to McGee, and Collinsworth has his first catch, had only 5 all season, and comes up with a big 3rd down play. First down.
Esiason throwing this long out. It's the kind of pass he missed several times earlier in the game. This one will be completed.
Didn't have a lot of zip on it, though, did it?
Hangs up there a long time, and that was a trademark of Boomer's passing earlier in the year. He really has a powerful arm, and those patterns are the ones he throws the best.
16 yards for first down now, James Brooks. Look who came flying up there, Michael Walter, to plug the hole. Roberts was there as well, but it was Walter, 99, flying to the ball.
Very, very active linebackers for this 49er team. I'll tell you, George Seifert, their defensive coordinator, has done a tremendous job of putting this defense together in positions where they can make the stops.
Needless to say,
we'd love to see that.
First experience would be one worthy of some historical merit.
We talked about that all week, and people looked at us like we were crazy.
6:44 left in the 4th quarter, tied at 13. Second down, 9. Ickey Woods, close to a first down as he drives to the San Francisco 44. Fuller and Ellison make the tackle as Ricky Ellison gets up off the ball, number 50, the tackler for San Francisco. His dad, you said, is here from New Zealand to see him play.
Father has never seen him play a football game. Father and mother separated early. His father has lived out of the country, was in Fiji, wanted to come to Super Bowl 19. The day he was going to leave, a hurricane came through, blew the roof off his house. He wasn't able to come. He's here watching his son today, but we're not going to show you a picture of it.
Not after the Norman Esiason experience of a couple weeks ago. First down, Cincinnati, 5:51 to go.
Father Dan very proud, I'm sure, the way his son's playing today.
Ricky Woods behind that big right side of the line and plows under Brian Blados, the 300-pound right tackle, and has good yardage again.
San Francisco slanting their defensive line. They've done a pretty good job here in the second half of shutting down the running game. But I think that big offensive line beginning to wear down this defense, and that should pay off in running yardage.
Jim Breach, the field goal kicker, is connected 2 for 2 today. His last from 43 yards. Second down and 3. Woods now with 74 yards, leading the Cincinnati running game. And it's his number again. No, play action. Esiason then throws, complete. Was he out of bounds? James Brooks, that's a good catch. They say inbounds. A dozen more for the Bengals, and that'll put them into field goal range with a first down at the 25.
You talk about a toe tapper. Boy, I'll tell you, those toes down. Now they're saying no catch now. Watch the toes here. Brooks.
First down.
1. That's inbounds.
The second toe out of bounds.
And so far, the instant replay.
Now they're saying they're not going to stop it. He was saying he was pushed out of bounds, that his toe would have come down. The toe would have come down in bounds, but he was pushed.
First down at the 24-yard line, and the snap doesn't even come off.
Carter jumping a little bit early. Did someone move?
Yeah, we look at Breach, but Sam White's is thinking more than field goal now.
What's the 7th?
Ball start prior to the snap. Number
Again,
64, the
movement
center.
by the
Still
offensive
first down.
line. Mazursky, who has worked so hard today on Michael Carter. We talked about the impact of Carter. Here's that last play. Boy, this is great body control by James Brooks. Watch those toes stretch down. And you see the shove right there by Tim McKyer. If McKyer is not there to push him, that other toe does come down. I agree with the call.
Fans who watched it on the replay in the stadium, at least the 49er fans, booing. They thought that was not a favorable call. First down, 15 at the 30. And they run it. Woods gets back the 5 yards they lost on the penalty. You saw earlier in the game that Icky on his sweatband over the forehead had number 46. That was the number of his friend from Fresno and UNLV teammate. There it is, Andre Horn. You've heard the story. Horn was his pal that they were supposed to get together one night. Icky didn't make it, and his friend Andre Horn was murdered. And that turned Woods' life around. That was his best buddy, and he remembers him here in the Super Bowl experience. 2nd and 10. Esiason going to Brooks, incomplete at the 5. Walder drifting back in pass defense to help out Ronnie Lott. All right, 3rd down. Cincinnati today has been 4 for 13. And this is a tough one, 3rd and 11. If they do not gain any yards, the ball just inside the 25, we're talking a 43-yard field goal. 4 minutes, 8 seconds to go. They're letting the clock run down, already 9, and now they'll call a timeout. Or officials will call a time. Kofer, who has missed 2, one from 19 and one from 49 yards. Stanford Jennings, for a moment a hero for Cincinnati with that kickoff return for a touchdown, is in the lineup.
Big play. This is a tough one for the conversion here. 3rd and 11.
Jennings.
No.
They just position the ball middle of the field. Jennings gets a few more yards to the 22-yard line, which will give Breach a shot of a field goal from 40 or just inside. He was originally drafted by the Lions way back in 1978. He's an excellent golfer, and whenever you talk to Breach about kicking, he talks about golf and how his leg is really the club in his body making the making the play.
Same kind of mechanics. He said you hook and slice the football the same way you do a golf ball.
And you keep your head down.
Well, let's see if he can do it.
40 yards. And it is good. The smallest man on the field, 5 foot 6 inch Jim Breach, is growing by the minute. He is 3 for 3 on field goals, and Cincinnati leads again 16-13. And a 16-13 lead. They use 2 kickers. They actually have a 3-man kicking team, or did earlier in the year, and then Lee Johnson took over the kickoffs and the punting.
He really puts a foot into that ball on these kickoffs, and that has been a factor here today. Field position.
And he could kick you a 50-yarder. He has that kind of leg, but Breach is the short man, and he more ways than one. Johnson to Del Rogers. 10, flag down, Rogers down, another flag. And it appears the 49ers will start deep in their own end. Rogers, the ball carrier, slow getting up. Well, as you look back on a couple of big moments early then, Merlin, in the first half, the injuries, of course, to Wallace and Crumry, we have documented, but missing a 19-yard field goal, the shortest ever in Super Bowl history. This could be the one they really talk about. Cross is the snapper.
That is Randy Cross. Thomas next to him in the lineup, but Cross, the man snapping tonight. And that ball right on the knee. And you can't get it up and maintain the timing. I'm sure that he is blaming himself, but the timing is so critical. You've got to have the good snap and the good hold, or the kicker cannot do his job.
And then Cofer missed also from the 49, so he's 1 for 3. Montana over the middle to Craig, protecting the ball and out to the 17 as he takes a lick from Carl Zander. And Montana not wasting any time, no huddle.
So important, and this Cincinnati defense, boy, I tell you, they have done a great job without their best player, and we've said it again and again, but they keep coming up with the big series, the big plays.
Nice catch underneath the tight end, John Frank. You know, they're 9-1 with Frank in the lineup this year, that tight end. Clock is running 2:40, 2:39, you said. That's the game clock, 4th quarter. Cincinnati leading by a field goal. First down play, Montana. And out of bounds goes Jerry Rice with another catch. And for Rice, the brilliant All-Pro, who was the NFL Player of the Year last year, his 9th catch for 171 yards and a touchdown. He caught 22 touchdown passes for Bill Walsh last year to set an NFL record. And remember, that was in a short season with a strike. 12 games, 22 touchdowns.
Bill Walsh and his 49ers may be most dangerous in this kind of 2-minute situation. They can explode on you.
Hand off inside to Craig. That's that like a roll. Montana fakes the roll and then hands off behind him, but Cincinnati had it well read. Leo Barker, who came to the United States from the Canal Zone in Panama, from Rainbow City, to play at New Mexico State and then make it in the NFL.
This is the kind of situation we talked about, the fact that Walsh will save an opportunity, save some plays for this kind of situation.
2 minutes to go. San Francisco needs 3.
Welcome back. John, Special teams have made a big difference today. The 49ers now need to go 70 yards or about 40 to get a field goal. What do you think?
Well, coaches in this league talk about special teams being a third of the game. And a lot of games are won or lost on special teams. Jimmy Breach is 3 for 3. On the other side of the ball, Kofor is 2 out of 4. Makes a big difference, 2 missed field goals. Then we have the kick return for the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's not just the kicking game, it's covering kicks, running back kicks. And the special teams in this game has been a key factor.
And there we see Boomer Esiason on the sideline. He's come out and played well. Joe Montana trying to move them 70 yards. Here we go to NBC.
Turn for a touchdown. Roger Craig out to the 35-yard line with 1:54 to go. Skip McClendon made the tackle. And I think back to early in the year, Merlin, we were watching the game from Seoul, Korea, when Montana hit Jerry Rice 78 yards, an injured Bengal on the play. Montana hit Rice 78 yards, remember, against the Giants with 42 seconds left, and San Francisco won 20-17. He got another one of those left in him. Jim Scow is the injured Bengal.
Scow, the most productive of those defensive linemen now on the field, has been such a fine performer. He's got to be the smallest defensive end active in the NFL that plays on both run and passing downs. 245 pounds, and I think it works to stay at that. He has had a fine game. He has been important today because he's on the left side. Montana likes to roll to his right, and Scow has done a good job of keeping the heat on Montana.
Let's talk about the Cincinnati defense for just a moment, Merlin, as they work on Scow. Here's a team that was in the second half of the pack in the NFL, 15th in the league. And so they felt, fans even in Cincinnati, to win the Super Bowl, get through the playoffs, they're just going to have to outscore the good teams. But it's been the reverse. They held one team, Seattle, to 13. Then they beat Buffalo, held them to 10. And they've held the high-scoring 49ers to 13 today.
They have been an inspired team in the playoffs. And I tell you, they deserve the kind of credit they will get if this score is maintained and Cincinnati can walk out of here carrying that Super Bowl trophy, because they have played inspired football here today.
Eddie Edwards has replaced Jim Scow. Edwards, the veteran from Miami of Florida. On first down, Montana to Rice again, and he's out of bounds at the Cincinnati 47. And that should put him right at the 200-yard mark today. Mike Kofor may get another chance yet. But the 49ers, with plenty of time, 1 minute, 49 seconds to go, they're thinking touchdown. 6 defensive backs for the Bengals. Rice to the left. Montana over the middle to Craig. And Barker gets him down, but not until Craig has another San Francisco first down at the 36-yard line.
Team playing emotional football begins to wear down at the end of the day. They're not getting heat on Joe Montana, and he's taking advantage of that defense.
Montana to Rice over his head. He had broken free of Eric Thomas, but a little too tall was Montana. He last year set an NFL record with 22 straight completions. He's got 2 timeouts left and plenty of time, 1:22 showing. Scow is okay. He's back in the lineup for Cincinnati.
I tell you, you've got to wonder what kind of emotions have gone through that man's heart and head during this game.
No one has ever gone from a 4-win season to a Super Bowl victory, that's for certain. But Montana would like to keep it that way. Over the middle with a flag down, and it's a completion to Craig, and I believe Craig was held.
We might have a tripping call in there.
Barney Bussey on the play.
No, they're saying.
Other way around, they're saying now. Ineligible man downfield, San Francisco. You don't see that call often, but Montana scrambling, and one of his linemen released too soon, or had drifted away into the secondary of Cincinnati. There is the critical statistic as San Francisco battles the clock as well. 1:15 to go.
ineligible downfield. Number 51 offense, still second down.
Oh, my. Randy Cross in his retirement game is ticketed for another 5, and it comes back to the 45-yard line. Oh, that's a big one. I take that back. That's a big penalty all the way to the 45, where it'll be second down and 20. Montana to Rice. He's in the clear. And Ray Horton fought through a block. There was a blocker on him. Taylor downfield and made a touchdown-saving tackle. What a day for Rice.
It did not look like anyone would be able to stop Rice, but Horton made a brilliant play to get him down.
11 catches, 216 yards. Is there another one? This one's to Craig, and he's to the 10-yard line. And close to another first down, and San Francisco will spend its second timeout. They have one left, 39 seconds to go. Kofer could tie it, but the 49ers can win it.
So, Walter, who's the pressure on right now?
Well, the pressure is definitely on Cincinnati because San Francisco is in the catbird seat. They can move the ball or not, they can kick a field goal and tie the game, but they got an opportunity to score a touchdown. If Cincinnati makes one mistake, the game is over because there's no more time left on the clock. That's why it's more added pressure on Cincinnati at this point.
Well, I think the pressure's on Kofer right now. But right now, let's go back down to the field and NBC commentators.
Bill Walsh at 57. He has hinted this could be his last game. Sam Weiss at 44. He thought his last coaching game with the Bengals was the finale last year when they went 4-11. There was hot news. Everyone in town in Cincinnati thought he was going to be fired, except Paul Brown, the man who made the decision, the Hall of Fame vice president. He kept him for his final year of the contract, and Weiss has his team 39 seconds from a Super Bowl win. But Bill Walsh has his team 10 yards from a victory himself. Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor. John Taylor, who sells cars in the off-season for Reggie Jackson, has just hit the home run for the 49ers.
His first catch of the day, but the biggest catch of the day.
34 seconds to go as Kofer tries the point after. He's got it. And a big one it was, because now it'll take a touchdown for Cincinnati to win it. San Francisco leads 20-16.
Taylor cutting to the inside. I think all the eyes were on Jerry Rice, but not Joe Montana's. He had Taylor all the way into the end zone for a touchdown.
Taylor from Delaware State makes his move away from Ray Horton, and with a concentration on Jerry Rice, who has set a Super Bowl record, and Sam Weich's team could not make the big play. Now they have just 34 seconds to generate something special. And while Taylor is congratulated, the man who should also be in that picture is Jerry Rice, who has caught 12 passes for 222 yards to shatter both reception and yardage records in Super Bowl history. There's the man, Rice. He set the table, and Taylor hit the home run. James Brooks, with so much on the line now, is going to be used as a kickoff return man for Cincinnati, along with Stanford Jennings, who returned one 93 yards for a touchdown earlier in this half.
We might see something strange on this kick, too.
It's going to Brooks at the 10.
Well, straight up the field.
And he gets only to the 26-yard line, and only 29 seconds remain for Cincinnati. They have all 3 timeouts left.
Here's that big catch by Jerry Rice to put them in position for that touchdown across the middle. Oh, that's just let the pictures talk to you.
That you see Taylor, he has the block. The only man that could have stopped Rice and couldn't make the play, but then he got a second chance.
7 defensive backs.
Ronnie Lott is 40 yards downfield as Esiason throws short, and out of bounds goes Tim McGee with a chunk of only about 5 yards. In many ways, this week has been a week for left-handers. I don't know if Jerry Rice is left-handed. We have a new president, the southpaw, the 4th in our history, George Bush, and Boomer Esiason hope that this might be the inaugural Super Bowl win for Cincinnati. But Montana and Jerry Rice have been a bit too much, apparently. Esiason with the clock ticking away. Throws it away. He was in the grass. There'll be no penalty. He's down. Charles Haley gets the sack. And with it, a timeout.
Can Boomer and Coach White pull it off?
Well, it'll be very hard for them to do it. The law of averages say no, but the game of football is unpredictable, and they only need one play to score a touchdown.
John, can they do it?
They can do it. They did it last year. San Francisco beat the Cincinnati Bengals on the last play of the game to Jerry Rice. So maybe it'll turn around and it'll be the opposite.
Well, we're going to go back right now and see if they do it. Let's go back to NBC.
17 seconds for Cincinnati fans. And the Bengals have 2 timeouts. And they'll need something very special. And for San Francisco, this might be a very special way for Bill Walsh to say goodbye. Do you think he'll retire?
I think he's gone, Dick, and I think it's very possible that George Seifert, as defensive coordinator, will continue the package. They have so many young, strong players, and if they can just continue on the track they're on, they have a chance of being even better, I think, in this next year. Walsh just walked out on the field, by the way, and I think he was trying to think with Sam White on the other side. He grabbed Ronnie Lott, said something to Lott. Lott went back out on the field and gathered the defense. And I'm sure what he was doing was anticipating some kind of move from Sam White.
Just a 3-man rush. And then the throw incomplete to Collinsworth. They've given him pretty good field position at the 43-yard line. 10 seconds to go. And now it's 4th down. That scoring drive with Rice being such an important part of it with the penalties was 92 yards in 2 minutes and 46 seconds, and Montana was 8 for 9 on the drive.
If I had one quarterback to put in a 2-minute period, and we said it before he started the drive, they are most dangerous in that kind of situation. They just seem to explode in that 2-minute period. They have done it throughout the year. Montana has to be the best big game quarterback I've ever watched play.
4 men on the left side. They'll flood that side. Esiason will throw up the big one, hoping that something will ricochet. It doesn't. It's knocked to the ground by the 49ers, and that's it. The game is over. San Francisco has won Super Bowl 23. Jerry Rice, the hero for the 49ers. And Bill Walsh will get the ride. We wonder if it's his last as head coach. Three for 3 in the 80s for the San Francisco 49ers, the team of the decade. Teacher and pupil leave arm in arm. If only we could share that conversation with you. I bet he's telling White what his plans are. It may be somewhat like Vince Lombardi after Super Bowl II and Green Bay Packers winning 2-2, retiring later to take the head coaching job with the Redskins. Walsh will stay in football, but he may not be the head man of the 49ers next year. At least that has been the hint.
Says he wants to take some time out, write a few books, maybe get involved in personnel, but right now it's a time to celebrate in that San Francisco locker room.
They called him World in college, Jerry World Rice. And in the world of football, in the sports world today, Jerry Rice shows why he is regarded as the best receiver in football. He was absolutely brilliant. 12 catches, 3 of them were of spectacular variety, seemingly open, and even when not in double covered, able to pick off key plays and sparks the 49ers to this win.
Plays you can forget and plays that won't be forgotten. Randy Cross's bad snap will be forgotten. Phillips' drop of the interception, which resulted in a touchdown on the next play, will be one that will haunt this Cincinnati Bengal team in the next few days.
But without Tim Crumry, the Bengals and their fans, they saw a mighty effort defensively, and it wasn't until that final drive by San Francisco that the 49ers seemed so dominant. There's Eddie DeBartolo, the young owner of the 49ers, 3 for 3 in the 80s. No team has taken better care of him. He's like one of the kids in that locker room. They call John Frank Satellite. He's about to put DeBartolo into orbit. NFL live postgame will follow after these messages from your local station. Super Bowl 23 goes to San Francisco.
So by staying up till 10 to 2 in the morning, you've been rewarded with one of the greatest games ever to be played. And I hope you enjoyed it. Walter, you were off, mate. You made a prediction. What was it?
Well, when we started out, I said San Francisco would win. The score would be 21-17. Unfortunately, I was 2 points off. But I knew that San Francisco had the experience and they had the weapons to win this game. And when Cincinnati had the key injury on defense, the 49ers took advantage of it.
John, the 2 kickers were slightly off today, but who would be your MVP?
Well, you've got to hand it to Joe Montana on that last drive. I mean, he's played 3 Super Bowls now, and he hasn't thrown an interception. And he just kept throwing to the 2 guys he could rely on, Craig and Rice. He got them; those 3 players got them into the Super Bowl. They got them through the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears, and those 3 won the game today for them. They're big stars.
Walter, who would be your MVP?
Well, I would go with Jerry Rice, simply because there were 2 situations where it was critical to get the first down, and the first down was long yardage. He came through, he made the catches, he set up the touchdown. Although Montana threw the ball, somebody have to catch it and do something with it after it. And I think Jerry Rice should be the MVP.
It seems like the professor beat the tutor.
But always works
or
that
the
way.
student. But will he retire after this game? He's now won 3 Super Bowls in the 80s. They must be the team of the decade. Will Coach Walsh retire at the end, Walter?
I don't think he will. I think he will come back next year, and then he's going to play it by ear. I've had an opportunity to talk to him and sit down, and he wants to coach because he feels comfortable doing it. He's enjoying it, and I think a win like of this magnitude will make him want to come back a little bit more.
Well, it's sad for the Bengals. I know White's wanted to win that one. But right now, let's go back to our NBC commentators.
For the first time in a long time, a Super Bowl came down to the final seconds, 34 seconds left. Joe Montana looking for wide receiver. John Taylor, 10 yards for the score. As the San Francisco 49ers win Super Bowl 23 over the Bengals, 20-16. There you see owner Eddie DeBartolo in the 49ers dressing room. Tremendous victory for them, their 3rd Super Bowl title this decade, and what could possibly be the last game for head coach Bill Walsh. Hello, everybody, and welcome to NFL Live, our post-game show. Gail Gardner, along with Coach Don Shula and Paul McGuire, and we waited a long time to see an ending like this, Coach. The 2-minute drill for the 49ers, something they have mastered.
Finally, an exciting Super Bowl, a great 2-minute drill, and the old pros really came on. The guys, the big play people for the 49ers, Montana, the quarterback, led them down the field. Tremendous drive. Rice and Craig were the receivers, And then Turner came open for the touchdown. They had him in tight on that play, sent Rice in motion to the outside. Turner came open down the middle of the field. Montana hit him for the touchdown. But earlier, the dropped interception, I thought, was a key play in the ball game, where Billups had the opportunity to intercept the pass that was thrown. He dropped the interception. On the next play, Montana and Rice for the touchdown that gets them back into the ball game.
Yeah. Paul, what is, from your vantage point, the key play situation?
I don't know if it's so much of a key situation, Gail. It's the hype all week long in the last 2 weeks about the offense. How much offense do they really have? You know, you're talking Rice, Montana, and Craig, Ickey Woods, and Boomer, and Brown, and all of these guys. And I agree with the coach. The couple of plays that Collingsworth made, the catches, the old-timers seem to come back and do the job. The most important thing in this ball game was the strength of both defenses. No one even talked about them all week long or the last 2 weeks. They were talking offense, the great show, the fireworks. 47 points was the over. You know, that kind of thing. I love to see a defensive game, and this was a defensive football game.
All right, time now to check in with Bob Costas. He is in the victorious locker room of the San Francisco 49ers. They are ready to give out the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Let's go to Bob Costas.
All right, Gail, thanks very much. Commissioner Pete Rozelle has made this trip 23 times. We can safely say this one follows the most exciting finish in Super Bowl history and the presentation.
It certainly was, Bob. And owner Eddie DiBartola and Coach Bill Walsh, you and a great Cincinnati team gave us the finest of our 23 Super Bowls. I don't think there's any question about that. And the 49ers today established themselves as truly the team of the 80s with your third Super Bowl win. And I got a call in the press box a little while ago from someone who sent an invitation for you to visit the White House, President George Bush. Congratulations, Eddie.
Thanks, Pete. This trophy goes to the guys that made this happen. This trophy is Bill Walsh's trophy. You deserve it. I appreciate the thought. It's been a great, great game.
Bill, your third Super Bowl championship. You had to be awfully concerned, though, almost all the way through this one. Cincinnati was ready, and they gave it a tremendous effort.
Well, Cincinnati has a great team. They're well coached. It was one of the great games I've been involved in. And we put it together in the final drive, and so much credit goes to our entire team for having the poise to hang in there and stay with it. Cincinnati had a lot of momentum, but I'm just so proud of everybody, Ed DeBartolo, our entire organization. It's just a great moment for me personally.
Is this your final game?
I'm not about to say that. Ed and I have to visit, but this is a lifetime experience, believe me.
The missed opportunities were something you had to overcome. There were several of them throughout the game.
Well, it's like a heavyweight fight for the championship. There's some missed punches, but finally, if you're aggressive and you stay with it, you can win it.
There was pandemonium here as the game ended, and I wasn't able to see. Were you able to exchange words of any kind with your buddy Sam Weich after the game?
Yes, we left the field together. I love him very much.
What was said, if you would share that?
Well, we care for each other.
Bill, congratulations on your third Super Bowl championship.
Thank you very much.
Joe Montana will be here shortly. In fact, he's here right now. I think it's safe to say, Joe, without throwing any excessive hearts and flowers your way, that you go down in history now as perhaps the greatest big game quarterback in NFL history. If you're not, you're on a very short list.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guys up front gave it their all in the end, and we just never gave up. We came in the locker room at halftime and just said, hey, we got to go out and take it. Things might happen, might go wrong, we got to fight back, and everybody did. Our defense hung in there. They got a big play on a kickoff, and we just came right back and drove the ball down the field. I'll tell you what, up front, the guys played hard and gave me the time to do what we had to do.
Take me through the final drive.
Well, we just got going. Just trying to get the ball down the field, thinking about field goal, and we kept getting man-to-man with Jerry, and got him going on the outside, and we come back and getting Roger coming up underneath, and then in the final time, we thought we were going to get Brackett.
Here's the John Taylor catch for the winning TD.
Oh, this is Jerry right here. In the first touch, we got man-to-man. He just runs out like a little slant to the outside and makes a great effort getting in the end zone.
All right, that was the first one by Rice, and now I guess we will queue up and run the John Taylor touchdown. Tell me about that one, the one that won it.
We've been hitting the back coming underneath so much, and down there we've been getting bracket coverage and doubling on our outside guys, and so we're trying to bring the back underneath there. for the guys underneath and John running like a little up pattern down the middle, splitting the safeties. And like I said, I'm still standing up. I had all the time to throw the ball. The big guys up front played hard.
Even though you got the reputation as a guy who comes through almost every time in the clutch, how nervous, how much anxiety do you feel down the stretch in a game like this?
Well, it's tough, you know. We get backed up there, but we were still confident. That was the one thing that we never gave up on. It was confidence, and it showed out there, I'll tell you.
How sweet is the feeling for you after an up-and-down season where people wondered whether you were over the hill?
Well, I think it makes it that much sweeter for us all. Not only for myself, but at 6-5, everybody was counting us out, and it's great to come back and win it this way, I'll tell you, believe me.
Joe Montana, congratulations. Standing by are Randy Cross and Jerry Rice. We'll get to them momentarily, but let's go over to the other side, the losers' locker room, and Marv Albert. Marv?
All right, Bob, and head coach Sam Weiss just moments ago had an emotional talk with his ball club. Would you tell us what was said?
Well, I just told our ball club how proud I am of them, and we are of each other, and that we didn't do anything wrong. They played a great game. They made some great plays right at the end, and they won the game with great plays. It wasn't won because someone made a mistake or anybody did anything wrong other than go 14-5, play a whale of a game. And 12 months ago, this team wasn't expected to do anything. Coach wasn't expected to be around. A lot of the players were expected to come up with mediocre season, and we had the best record in the National Football League. Even the Super Bowl champs didn't have our record, but they are the champs. They won it today in a tremendous game. We were 34 seconds away. 34, and we're not going to forget this feeling next year.
Sam, would you do anything differently? Cincinnati usually not a conservative ball club, but you come to the Super Bowl and it seems to be the same story. The teams don't play the same way they do during the course of the regular season.
Well, we played the same game we played in the last half of the season anyway, and no, I wouldn't change anything. Nobody did anything wrong in this locker room other than play their hearts out. Half of them banged up now to where they can hardly sit up straight, but congratulations, the 49ers did it.
It has not been as widely a speculated story as the Bill Walsh situation as to his coaching future. Your contract is up. There's been a degree of guessing as to what your future holds. Where will Sam Weiss be next season?
As soon as we get back, we'll start talking about that. We've been putting everything we had into this ball game. We gave everything we had in this ball game. Every player, every position coach, every member of the organization, and we gave it our best shot. That's all we can say. I'm happy for Bill, and I'm happy for the 49ers.
Any possibility of your leaving Cincinnati?
No, we're going back right now and get talking about it.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back to Bob Costas.
Well, as Joe Robbie Stadium empties, there's a lot of unhappy players in the Bengals locker room, but I don't think there's any such thing as a 49er fan or player that's unhappy. Walter, your final thoughts on a great game?
Well, my final thoughts, I hate to rub salt into the wound, but you two kickers, you've been picking Cincinnati, and you said Cincinnati's going to win, but you had two things going against you. Both of you are kickers, which that doesn't help, and both of you are from England. So I'm telling you, I played for a long time. I know what was going to happen. So I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but, you know, my hand's long enough, but I knew the game was going to turn out the way it did.
John, I can't wait till next year and prediction time, because I think you got lucky. So what are your final thoughts?
Well, we were 34 seconds away, as the coach said. I feel sorry for the Bengals. They were entertaining all year. They put up a great fight, and they were very close to doing it in the biggest game of the year. And they would have had the biggest turnaround from 4 games, winning 4 games in '87 to 12-4 in '88 and winning the Super Bowl 34 seconds away. But this game's a game of inches. And San Francisco came through, and you can't really take it away from San Francisco. Tremendous career for Walsh, 3 Super Bowls. Montana, 3 Super Bowls, didn't throw an interception. A great leader of that team.
Cincinnati could be just like the Minnesota Vikings. They made 3 Super Bowl appearances and never won one. So maybe next year they might come back again.
All right, well, thank you, guys. Had a great time. I think we saw a great game, and I think the British fans were rewarded for their patience in staying up. So Super Bowl 23 is over. Congratulations to the 49ers and Mike Wilmot, and commiserations to the Bengals. John, Walter, and myself have all enjoyed bringing you American football over the past 20 weeks, and we very much look forward to being with you again next year. Thank you all for your support. From Miami, it's good night from all of us. Good night.
And if you fancy seeing it all over again in a slightly shorter version, then Tuesday afternoon at 5 is the time to do it. Plus news from the teams now that it's all over, and the homecoming reception for the San Francisco 49ers. And that's it for tonight on Channel 4. Hope you enjoyed the game with all its bruising, nail-biting final quarter drama. And as you can imagine, the Super Bowl tension has got to us here as well. And really, all we've got breath left to say it. What time is it now? 4 minutes past 2. Is from all of us at Channel 4, and from me, Ali Ballantyne, a huff and a puff, and a very, very good night.